Hey, don't you scroll by this. You see us. Come on in. Come on in. Fixing the camera a little bit. Come on in. Happy Tuesday to you, good people. Listen, good people. Listen, we want you to think about this, right? I want to give you some numbers before we jump into this, right? 31% of Americans are disengaged in their work. That means 69% of people show up every day to do something that they don't feel engaged with or connected to, right? Listen to this. 59% of Americans believe that their life 5 years from now will be better. So that means 41%, 4 out of 10 people don't believe in hope, don't think their life can get better, right? I want you to really hear this. 7 out of 10 people struggle financially, have stress around money and anxiety, right? Right? And half of Americans say they feel disconnected emotionally. So here's the question today on the married life. Where do those emotions land? Ooh, they gotta land somewhere, ain't that right, babe? Listen, because you can be married and still feel disconnected. You can be married and still feel unseen, right? So in this episode today, we asking a deeper question. Are you free? And what that freedom really looks like. Welcome back to another episode of The Married Life. I'm one of your hosts, FL, founder of the Dirty BU Network. It's my boo thing.
Chandra.
Y'all see her looking like a snack with that new haircut. Yes, sir, looking good over there, babe. Listen, and this is The Married Life, where we slow things down, recognize our patterns within ourselves, right, and our relationship, regulate our emotions through those feelings, get a new revelation on what to do different, right? Build a rhythm around that revelation and put it on repeat mode, good people, so we can do what, babe?
Live.
Yes, sir. Listen, man, we excited about this episode today. And so, listen, we ain't going to waste no more time. We going to jump right in. Y'all seen the stats that I gave y'all. Me and Dr. Ford just did a show. Are you free? Go check that out. I did one over the 4th. Those numbers are alarming, good people. So before we get into it, I just want to tell you our sponsor today, right? And then we're going to jump right into it. This episode is brought to you by Use It or Lose It, my 6-part audio series plus workbook. Listen, good people, listen to me. If you tired of playing small, if you tired of dabbling around your gift, if you tired of just serving with your gift, click that link. My 6-part audio series plus workbook is going to help you stop playing small and start living on your gift, right? Stop dabbling around it and just serving with it, but start profiting from it. Click the link. All right. That's enough of that. You ready to get into this, man? Man, let's get into it. So let's talk about this first part we want to talk about. Are you mentally free, good people? So when I say mentally free, what am I talking about? Do you have a safe place to land your thoughts, right? Your creativity, what you're thinking, right? Right? So what comes to your mind when you think about mentally free, right? Or let's just talk about this. Let me ask you this. Let's start it off with this. Do you have a safe place to land your thoughts?
I do now.
You do now?
Yes.
Well, talk about when you didn't. Because look, this 27 years in, good people. So yeah, but talk about when you didn't feel free to land those thoughts. Like what caused that? Like what do you think caused you not to feel free? Was it something that you was doing because you didn't understand how to land those and talk to me? Or was it something that I was really putting out? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, I think a lot of times it always goes back to there's two sides.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
there just is. It could be the way I delivered it. You used to be like the try to fix. Like I felt like I couldn't just come to you for just the safe space. It was always, well, you got to figure out how to fix whatever I'm telling you. And I didn't really like that. I didn't want you to fix anything. I wasn't seeking the fix.
Yeah.
I was just seeking the safety.
Got you.
That
That
makes
total
sense.
sense.
So,
That makes total sense.
You would want
Sipping
to
on my
try
juice.
to fix things, but I really wasn't looking for that. That wasn't what I needed in that moment. We could have talked about the fix later, but in the initial moment, I was just looking for encouragement, maybe just a listening ear, those type of things.
Yeah,
Is that what you're looking for?
no, man, that makes sense though, babe. That makes sense because with me, the mental freedom, I had to learn what not to say. You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Because I used to give you too much. Because
Yeah.
based off your nervous system, based off
Yeah, I can't handle.
Yeah.
I struggle with information overload, and
Yeah.
if things come at me real fast and a lot of information, I can't process it.
No,
I
real
just
talk.
mentally, I like to.
Did you put on? Oh yeah, you got your mic
Oh,
on.
yeah.
I didn't see your mic. I didn't see your mic.
It's blending in with my.
Oh yeah, yeah. But no, man, that's real because with me, I'm a visionary. So I see things in 5, 10 years down the road. I see things in patterns. Y'all know translation is one of my gift, pattern recognition. So I see things in patterns, right? So I had to learn early on in our marriage, I was giving wifey too much and I was creating my own mental prison because I was giving too much. Hey, babe, this is what we gonna do. This, I give her the whole 10-year vision. And wifey like, nah, I need to know what we're doing today and then the next couple of days. That's it.
Anything past that, I won't remember number
Yeah,
one. And
yeah.
Number two is just too much for me.
No.
My brain processing is different.
No, real talk. So that's some of the things that I had to learn how to free myself mentally. So when we say, are you free mentally, not just being able to express how you feel to your partner. Like wifey said, she wasn't free mentally because every time she expressed, what happened? I tried to fix. And most guys, we do that. So fellas, when your partner is expressing, sometimes, man, they just need you to hear it. Sometimes they just want you to get in the boat with them and feel it, right? And just be there with them. And I had to learn that, how her nervous system was. She had to learn mine. So listen, another question about mental freedom before we go to the next part. Can you disagree with your spouse safely? Ooh, that's a big one.
I think you should be able to.
I know, but I'm saying, can you? I mean, well, I'm gonna talk about it from my end. Like you said, now we can because I had to change that. But every time wifey used to disagree with me, man, what? You don't believe. You just don't have enough faith. You just can't see it. Why? Because that was the story. My nervous system, right? So that's why I said, can you disagree safely? Because most couples being in the space that we've been in, being married 27 years, I didn't talk to all type of couples. This is one of the bigger things in couples in relationship. They can't disagree safely. Because when somebody disagrees with the other person, they don't hear just a disagreement in their opinion.
Feels like rejection.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Yeah. Feels like rejection. Feels like I'm attacking you. So talk about a little bit about how when I would disagree with you, sometimes you would feel attacked.
Right. Because I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm always. I guess I don't know if I don't have a. Sorry. I don't have an example because
Well, no, man,
it goes in and out of my head. I don't really remember, but just I always felt like I was in the wrong if I disagreed with you. I felt like I guess I felt like I wasn't. I almost felt like I didn't believe enough, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I would feel bad disagreeing.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help but to disagree because that's truly how I felt in that moment.
Yeah. See, and these are things y'all looking at 27 years now, but these are things we telling y'all that we had to work through, that we had to grow through, that we had to talk through, right? Regulate our nervous system through, right? And so one last thing before we move on. Do you understand how your partner processes information? We kind of touched on this. Right. To be mentally free in your relationship, you got to understand this. I told you how I was creating my own mental prison because not understanding how she processed things. Yeah. So do you understand how your partner processes information? Because if not, you could be creating your own mental prison. So listen, man, before we get to the next part, this is what I wrote down because y'all know me, I'm a note taker, right? Because sometimes you're not bound by your partner. You're bound because you keep communicating in a way that doesn't work for your partner. That's what I want you to get before we get to this next part.
I think too, for me, like I always told you, I struggle with getting out things the way I see them in my head. Like I couldn't verbalize them the way I seen them. And that was just, I got frustrated with myself because I felt like I wasn't able to properly communicate the way I wanted to when I needed to tell you something.
Yeah. No, I got you, man. I remember you saying that
Yeah.
a lot too. Yeah. And those are things we had to work through. So when she used to come to me in times past, and then we'll move on to the next point. When she used to come to me with that in times past, I used to see that as, oh, she just don't understand. I'm saying it normal, I'm saying it calm. How you don't understand it? Then I had to start understanding my delivery, good people. Then I had to start understanding how her nervous system works, how she processes information. So as a leader of my household, I don't do that as falling back or being a weaker man. That's understanding how to process it, understanding that my wife needed that, right? So in order for us to effectively communicate and be free mentally, I had to change first, right? That don't mean she don't got to change. That don't mean she don't got things she got to do, but I had to take that lead and do it first. And then she follows suits, right? So, because I firmly believe in any relationship that the man needs to be leading and the woman automatically follows suits. And if you don't understand those roles, you'll get them confused and you think one is better than the other. And they're not. They're just different roles. Anyway, man, let me get on to this next part. So let's talk about this next part, babe. Are you emotionally free? Oh, can your spouse land their emotions with you safely, right? Or do they have to filter everything they tell you? Oh, babe. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna let you kind of start that, a little bit. Talk about, emotion. Do I create an emotional safe place for you to land your emotions? I know now, but just talk about then.
Now,
Yeah.
It's hard because if I don't have an example, I'm trying to remember.
Well, just think about you being frustrated or you be crying, because in 27 years, we didn't have all that, right? So in times past, when you come to me frustrated or crying, do you feel like those emotions land safely? Because you already kind of touched on it.
Yeah. I think sometimes before, like if I said things that maybe you didn't like what I said, it would cause more of an argument.
Got you.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense.
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily back then. It wasn't a safe space. Yeah.
To land that emotion. See, because I always say emotions are your energy in motion. So can that energy in motion land somewhere? And if it doesn't, you tired, baby? Every Tuesday
we get on here, I start yawning. I don't know why. I'm not even tired.
Yeah. So that energy has to land somewhere. So emotional safety. Can your spouse be vulnerable with you? Or do they feel judged and criticized? So like wifey said in the early stages, I'm not going to say I judged her or criticized her. Well, no, I guess I would say that. Probably. In a way, because I would feel like
saying it in those words.
Yeah, because I would feel like sometimes when she came to me with those emotions, like, why are you feeling that way?
Right.
I don't feel that way, so you shouldn't feel that way, right? And then I had to learn how to land my emotions. And by landing my emotions was just by freeing myself, landing my emotions was learning how to deliver that, right? So for me, it was more so my delivery. Because every time I tried to land my emotions, if I felt a certain way, wifey never judged me or criticized me, but I did feel rejected. But I had to understand that was because the way I was delivering it. So think about this. If you walk up to somebody and you slap them in the face, you think they ain't going to respond? I don't care how much they love you. If I slap wifey right now on camera, you think she ain't gonna look at me or hit me back and be like, what's? So think about that when you're trying to land your emotions. It could just be your delivery and the way you're trying to land those emotions, right? Because that energy and emotion, I always say, if you don't pause and regulate that energy and emotion, that can come out very aggressive. And if that comes out aggressive, that lands with your partner.
It's not gonna land the right way if it comes out like that.
Because watch this. If I land that aggressive, how you gonna react?
Oh, I'm gonna get aggressive back.
And that's what I'm saying. So
it's reciprocal,
Yeah. So everything starts with you. That's why I always say, from an individual standpoint, it starts with you, good people. So listen, because if your relationship isn't emotionally safe, y'all hear me say this, you eventually stop sharing, and where there's no sharing, there's no intimacy and there's no caring, right? Which leads me to my next point. Are you sexually free? Yeah, man, we about to talk about this thing because wifey looking like a snack. You see? So let's talk about it. Like I said before, if you stop sharing, there's no intimacy. And when there's no intimacy, how can you be sexually free? And then another thing, let's talk about sexually free from if your partner's sexual level or freak level, let me say it like this, is on a 10 and yours is on a 5, man, that's a huge gap, good people. How do you close that gap to become sexually free? So when we talk about sexual freedom, do you communicate your sexual needs? Right? That was a big one for us in the beginning. So just talk about a little bit how we became more and more sexually free over the years. Part of that was communicating those sexual needs to your partner. But was some of that kind of embarrassing in the beginning? Do you think some of that was kind of
not for me? I don't know. I mean, our relationship is different in that area because we haven't really necessarily struggled in that area.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will say, like, if there's a disconnect between the two people, then that sexual energy is not going to be there. If there's if the
good people.
Just a momentary disruption.
It was. I don't know what that was. I don't know what was happening. I don't know what was going on with that. Listen, I guess
we're discombobulated.
What happened? I mean, we so sorry. Technical
difficulties.
Sure, babe. Put this back on. Okay. Man, we don't know what's going on with this live stuff. We don't know. Anyway, we just gonna pick up back on the sexual freedom, good people. That's what we was talking about.
I was saying, just if you have to have it in both areas, so you have to be connected. I think.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, I think people's lack of.
Yeah.
It's because there's a disconnection on one end too.
No, real talk. Because listen, do you understand your spouse's sexual language, right? Because everybody has a different type of sexual language. Like I said, your freak level might be a 10. If your spouse's is a 5 or 6, you got to close that gap. You know what I'm saying? So sexual freedom is not just the ability to have sex, right? It's really having your desires met during sex, within that relationship, right? Exploring those desires. Do you have a safe place to explore those sexual desires, to talk about your sexuality, right? That's what we're talking about, freedom, good people. So sexual freedom, So anything else you want to add to that?
I can't think of anything.
You can't think of nothing else. I'm a note taker, so let me see.
I just, for me, what I think happens a lot in marriage, just like money's a big issue, sex can be a big issue.
Yeah.
If there is a disconnect, whatever that is, and both people have to be willing to work on it. It is a struggle, and some marriages don't work because one person may not be willing to do what it takes to resolve those issues.
That's true. I mean, that's real. That's real. So I always say this, right? I always say there's a two gap window, right? So I believe this 27 years in, this is 27 years talking. I tell every couple that we've ever coached this. If your freak level's at a 10, your partner has to be at least a 7 or 8 to really make it work. If they're under that, that's a big gap, 5 and 10. Same thing financially, same thing with anything in life. Like if you're at a 10 on something in your relationship, your partner at least has to be at least at a 7 or 8 to make it work, right? Yeah. So sexual freedom. So watch this before we move on to the next part. A healthy marriage has intimacy and sex, right? A thriving marriage has connection, right? So listen, I've never seen a happy sexless marriage. ever. So just think about that. Are you free sexually? Now let's talk about financially. Babe, we got one more and then we out of here, man. For this thing mess up again. Yeah. So listen, financial freedom. When we talk about financial freedom, I'm not talking about making $1 million a year, good people.
Right.
I'm talking about being intentional about your money, right? Intentional how you spend, intentional how you give, intentional how you make it, right? Being intentional about having money conversations, because understanding your partner's nervous system. So I always talk about this. Money arguments are never between two people, two nervous systems with two different stories, right? So talk about a little bit about, babe, do you know your spouse's money story, right? So just talk about a little bit about how us learning each other's money story helped us kind of free us financially too as well.
I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
You know, being able to understand how he sees it and no judgment on how he sees it, just like he has no judgment on how I see it. That's just, we grew up differently.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times that could be the case for a lot of people. You just have such drastic differences in your money story.
No, real talk, man. Do you know what money meant to you growing up? We talked about that in the last episode, how wifey was talking about it felt scarce or hard to make. And I grew up around entrepreneurship, so it felt a little easier to make, and I seen it. If you don't understand that, you're not going to be free financially because you're going to keep doing this, right? Most people think financial freedom, like I said the other day, is being in the 1% and 3%. Let's just keep it a buck real quick, people. How many of y'all really going to get in the 1% and 3%?
Right.
How many of y'all really going to do what it takes to get in the 1% and 3%, right? So let's throw that out the window because that's a false narrative about financial freedom, right? Financial freedom is just being intentional about your money, understanding where you putting it, understanding how you spending it, understanding how you earning it, understanding your partner's story behind money, right? So you can freely talk about money. In the beginning, we couldn't freely talk about it, and we was making money,
and we didn't even really understand that at the time either. I mean, we were just like, I don't know, living life.
Yeah, living life, making money. Like I said, we grew our cleaning business to over $200K a year in the first 2 years. So we making money, but didn't understand it. Didn't understand why every time we would talk about it, we would still kind of feel tight a little bit, even though we was making money. Nervous system, good people. So listen, I wrote this down before we get up out of here. Listen, when two people understand their money story, it creates peace around money. That's what I want to. Now, this last one, listen, are you free to be you? This don't really need no explanation right here. Look, y'all hear me talk about dirty be you all the time, baby. Are you free to be you? So these are some of the questions, right? Can your spouse grow, evolve, and change without fear of being judged, criticized? You know, sometimes in relationships, people, you know, because when you start changing, that exposes your spouse and vice versa. Right. And if y'all going to build a life together, y'all both have to grow together. Y'all have to evolve together. So do you create a safe place for your spouse to grow and evolve? Have I created that for you over 27 years, babe?
Right. Yeah.
I'm asking you a question. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, so you have to create that. You know, I've always encouraged wifey to be who she was. I've always encouraged wifey to utilize her gifting, her skill set, her talents. Right. And so, and vice versa. You know, and vice versa. She's always encouraged me to be who I was, not to hold back. And when I'm not being who I am, she encourages me to do that too, and vice versa. So can you be you? Or do you got to walk on eggshells in your marriage? Or do you got to perform and try to be something that you're really not? Right? These are the conversations that you got to have, right? You got to know who you are, core values, core beliefs, calling, gifting, purpose. What is that? And can you express that in your marriage? Right. So have you been able to express those things?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They've been able. So just talk to some of the ladies before we get up out here about how to really integrate that when you're married to a person like me, entrepreneurial, you know, always talks about gifting your own giftings and calling when you're married to a visionary who got all these other big, because you know some women feel like they're not being heard or seen in their marriage, or they feel like their talents are not being utilized in the marriage.
Right.
So do you feel like your talent has been underutilized? First of all, that's the first question.
No, I mean, if anything, for me personally, my own not use of my talent is because of me.
Got you.
Because of my own mental blocks.
Got you.
So no, you've always encouraged me. So you know, it's hard because I don't know how to encourage them if their spouse isn't encouraging them to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. Like,
Say to that, yeah.
I mean, you just gotta if you believe in yourself, which is what I struggled. I didn't believe in myself. But if you are confident in yourself, then you're just gonna have to get out there and do it, even without the support of your spouse.
No, that's true. I mean, that is true.
For that.
That is true. You can't wait for it. If you know you got a call, gifting, and we all do, right? And your spouse is not really in alignment with that, you're gonna have to have that difficult conversation, like wifey said. But if they're still not in alignment, you gotta go.
You just gotta do it.
You just gotta go.
You're gonna start getting resentment.
Yes.
You're gonna be frustrated.
Yeah. No, real talk. So listen, man, are you really free? Look, we had to work through that technical difficulty, but we got up through there, good people. We got up through there. So listen, I'm gonna leave you with this. Real freedom in marriage isn't the absence of problems. It's having enough safety, enough understanding, enough communication to move through those problems or challenges together. Not individually, but together. Because freedom isn't perfection. Freedom is partnership. That's what it really is. It's just real partnership. Man, this is 27 years, good people. It's 27 years. And listen, if you still feeling stuck or feeling disconnected or you feeling bound by your marriage, listen, email me, flthelifecoach@gmail.com. I can help you in a one-on-one soul truth power session using our 5R framework. So if you're feeling that way today, email me and let me help you. So listen, anything else you want to say, babe? That's it. Listen, good people, are you really free? Like, share, comment. This is a live Q&A, so comment. When you see the replay, comment. And if you got other questions, where do they send them to?
THA Married Life 23@gmail.com.
Man, listen, we want to hear from you. Every Tuesday, brand new episode drops of the Married Life. Sometimes we go live like this. Sometimes it's technical difficulties like this. You just got to get up through there. Okay. And then listen, every Sunday, 9 a.m., Soul Truth Power Session. Brand new episode, right? And now the Dare to Be You podcast starts next month, so you don't want to miss that. And then listen, Soul Truth Spotlight. If you want to be a guest on the Spotlight, our first guest, Jermaine, was last month. This month, I'm still taking applications, or you can enter to win. I choose the winner on the 24th. We go live on the 27th. So email me, flthelifecoach@gmail.com. Tell me your biggest area that you're struggling in. Health, relationships, money, identity. And are you willing to go live on the Spotlight to be coached? So, hey, that's it. Listen, have a great Tuesday today. Drop your comments, like, share. And listen, good people, are you free in your marriage? And if not, we just gave you the sauce on how to create that freedom 27 years in. So until next time, same bat channel, this is The Married Life. I'm FL.
I'm Chandra.
Y'all have a good Tuesday, baby. Dare to be you.